Hi, my name is Sam, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Fantagraphics Black Friday haul. They ran a Black Friday sale. Everything that you're going to be seeing in the video is 40% off, so we're talking about some steep sales, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Okay, so I have a little bit of books that we picked up from them. So we'll take a little bit of time, flip through them, kind of take a look at them. Maybe you'll be interested in some of these books. We gotta start off hot, right? Real hot. I grabbed 3 issues of Hip Hop Family Tree. We got 6, 10, and 11. Could pop 11 open here and flip through it, take a look. If you're not familiar with Hip Hop Family Tree, it's basically a editorialized version of hip hop history. So it's more realistic than not, but you know, there's still comic things going on in these because it is a comic book. But it's one of the best things that, you know, has come out in the last 15 years or so. Everything about this presentation, the drawing, the lettering, down to the paper, it all works. Comes down to the presentation. It all works when you pair it together with everything. And Ed Piskor was, you know, a big hip hop guy. So if anybody was going to make a comic about this stuff, he would be the dude. We got Prince and MJ. But yeah, I do have quite a bit of this. I actually have the Japanese manga version of Hip Hop Family Tree coming. It should be here at some point today, actually. On that to show up. That'd be really cool. We're gonna end up taking a look at that. But yeah, this issue is more or less about Rick Rubin, kind of where he comes from, his claim to fame in the New York scene with rap and Beastie Boys and all that. One of the things that I love about just Ed Piskor, I guess, is that he always has like these little bits in the back about his dad, I guess. There's one in an issue and it's like, "Oh shit, my dad says," and it's pretty funny. You're trying to be like that jerk off, aren't you, after watching this? This Crumb documentary. Hey, if you're gonna be like anybody, Crumb isn't a bad artist to try. It's sick. Packaging designed by Ed Piskor. Hip Hop Family Tree. Highly recommend it. Honestly, any of Ed's books are just, can't go wrong with them. Hip Hop, Red Room, even Switchblade Shorties that's coming out here soon. Can't wait for that. But pick these up if you don't have them already. There is an omnibus for it. It's probably going to be the most accessible version. It's honestly on sale pretty often on Amazon. Over there and pick up the thick boy of this, especially if you're into hip hop stuff. Next on the list, we got Tits and Clits. So, Tits and Clits is an underground comic ran by women when the underground comic, you know, scene was happening in San Francisco and all that good stuff. So this is very much that, but it is more of a women's feminine side of look on comic books. Alternative side of comic books rather than, you know, people coming from Crumb, Veach, those sorts of guys. This is honestly really cool. This isn't something that I guess was really on my radar, but I was scrolling through the site, caught my attention. As you can see, there's it's an underground comic, ladies and gentlemen, so there's all sorts of stuff in these. But yeah, it's good stuff. I haven't really had time to look through this much, but you know, that's primarily who's going to be in here. Can't wait to actually get into this and go through it some more. But Tits and Clits, it's so far it's good stuff. Peter Bag's other stuff from Hate. I have the complete Hate. I have a couple of the Hate Revisited issues. So this is basically the stuff that was in that is about Hate or around Hate that kind of got published in weird places, as well as like collaboration art and things like that. So we got the Crumb drawing in the Gilbert Hernandez stuff, Dan Klaus. I had looked through this briefly As you guys may or may not know, Peter Bagge is one of my favorite cartoonists. I think that in terms of the Fantagraphics, more cartoony side of things, he's probably my favorite next to Dan Klaus, but I do edge out Peter a little bit over Dan, just for my personal taste. But yeah, this is more side stories, kind of one-off sort of deals. Not necessarily the follow-through story you kind of do see and hate. Got Hernandez here. Cannot mistake that Love and Rockets art. Super distinct. And we got Alan Moore. Written a short story here. Just a handful of pages. And of course, if you don't even know who this is, it's like, what are you even doing, Dan Klaus? Flip through these real quick to show you guys what's going on. Johnny Ryan is it's on my shit list, to be honest with you, so fuck that guy. Harvey Kurtzman. So it's Danny Hellman, but and this is the good old Crumb. My girlfriend and I were looking at this and just cracking up about it, just because it's like, he said I have a big fat ass, and it's like, there ain't nothing wrong with being caked up, you know? Just, it's funny though. Abominations of Filth with the McDonald's logo. Jesus, it's so funny. Yeah. Quick little flip through of that. Peter Bagge's other stuff. Obviously, going to highly recommend this. Like I said, I've only read a handful of things out of this already, but it's Peter Bagge, and you have Dan Klaus, Alan Moore, and R. Crumb, and Gilbert Hernandez all in the same book. Don't need to say anything else. The Reddest Rose, Romantic Love from Ancient Greeks over to Reality TV. Liv Stromquist? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm not too sure what this is. I'm just going to hold this up. If you guys decide to pause it, you can read the synopsis of the book. So it's something that my girlfriend wanted to pick up, and I was just kind of flipping through this before I decided to shoot the video. Cartooning it's interesting. I would say that it definitely leans into that like Flash style of animation, you know what I mean? That's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like an old Flash style video. Yeah, I really don't have anything to really say about this, to be honest with you. Just kind of showing it off. Or I have no idea what the hell this even is. But like I said, I had looked through it a little bit. That looked cool. Something that we picked up in the sale. Figured I'd show it off. Something that interests you. Said you got the synopsis there on the back. I don't know. Pick it up, I guess. The Book of Natural, R. Crumb. So this collects everything Mr. Natural. This book, I believe, is out of print. So Fantagraphics still has this stuff in stock. And the last time that this book was in print, the original printing of this book is fairly expensive. You keep that in mind, and with most things, R. Crumb, they go quick, and then the prices on these in the aftermarket typically go up. Wow, just right off the fucking cover. Jesus. Mr. Natural, as you can tell here, this is just on the back cover. It's wild stuff. I don't even know what to even say about Mr. Natural. It's just R. Crumb being R. Crumb. I think that out of all of R. Crumb's stuff that he does, this is kind of him being his R. Crummiest, if that makes sense. There's no filter on it, and as we know in a lot of his stuff, he doesn't have a filter. It's at least structured in a way that there's at least some sort of story going on. For as ridiculous as they may be, the fact that he also worked on this for such a long period of time. So you can see this book is collecting stuff that he had done from 1967 to 2010. So he had periodically throughout his entire career worked on this. So I think that's what makes it pretty interesting. you can see the growth, and then as well just the things that are in this comic. Jesus, Lord have mercy. I've seen a lot of Arcrum, and I've seen a lot of, you know, Tim Vigil. I've seen a lot of Ben Mara and whatnot, but still nobody touches Crumb, man, when it comes to this kind of shit. It's ridiculous, but you gotta buy it. Alright, suffrage song, The Haunted History of Gender, Race, and Voting Rights in the U.S., Caitlin Gass. Girlfriend wanted to pick this up. Look at this. This is pretty cool. Opening kind of shows off the characters in the book. So it's about 4 pages wide there. Gatefold. But the whole purpose of that is it color codes the eras in which they're kind of in or speaking about. So as you can see, it's like this is more of a beige yellow color in the background, kind of representing the era that they're in. And see, like, this is red. As we got blue, purple. I had to look through some of this, and basically it's exactly what this is. It is just about the fucked up shit that happens to women in this country, and still, I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say about it that already hasn't been said a million times about the kind of shit that goes on. But if you want your eyes opened up a little bit, and from a woman's point of view, you pick up Suffrage Song and get educated, people. And the magnum opus of the pickup, the 1963 When Else Annual by Dandy Don Simpson. As we are aware here, folks, on the channel, he's one of my all-time favorites. Can't pass him up. I actually have this digitally, and I have for a while now. Just finally decided to pick it up. This has been on sale on Amazon for a couple weeks, but Fantagraphics with the 40% off, that sure as hell beats the sale that Amazon has been running, so went ahead and snatched it up. However, I would have paid full price on it, but I was just kind of holding off because I've been collecting other Don Simpson things, Bizarre Heroes, other Megaton Man things. So this just happened to finally decided to pull the trigger on it. But what can you not say about Don Simpson? His lettering is just on another level. He is by far my favorite letterist, and just one of my favorite cartoonists, I guess. There was a drawing that was in here that I was laughing at. It's pretty funny. Yeah, right here. See down here at the bottom, we got like a Spawn Spider-Man, just Abomination. We got like a Savage Dragon sort of deal going on, like a Bad Rock ripoff. I'm assuming this is supposed to be Pitt, but yeah, it's just a he's ribbing on X-Men and some of the Image stuff. The main thing that is in this book I was freaking out about, because of course, is this kind of stuff here. Kitchen Sink Comics from the good old state of Wisconsin here. But I had read through this, and he's kind of just talking about the journey of 1963. I guess if you don't know the story behind 63, it was a super successful series that was done by Alan Moore and Rick Veitch, Don Simpson. It ran for 6 issues. I think it was supposed to go for 10. They stopped it at 6. Or sorry, no, it was, they went to 6 issues, but they were supposed to finish it up with a massive annual. Jim Lee was supposed to do it, Alan Moore, so on and so forth. But however, they had other priorities, so that book never came to fruition. Don Simpson kind of thought it would be funny to lean into his cartoony parody stuff that he does, and why not quote-unquote finish 1963, but he, make it its own thing still. So this isn't the sequel to 1963, but it is, you know what I mean? It's just a satirical play on everything. But he kind of, like I said, he talks about the stories and the background of the book and his career as a whole. One of the things that I was looking at was the stuff that's on his desk here, just nerding out about, you know, the cartoony art shit. You can see his blades, but, you know, bust ass pay bills. You can see the 1963, and I believe he's working on the spitting image, or splitting image, maybe is what it's called. A book where they kind of talk about, you know, the formation of image that he had drawn. That's what that's from, that page. Just look at this picture right here, and who's in it. Dave Sim, Cerberus fame. Larry Martyr, not familiar, sorry. We've got Warwick Veach, of course. Don Simpson, Steve Bissett, James Owen, Jim Valentino down here in the corner, kind of hard to see. And apparently Scott McCloud is the one taking the photo. What a room that would be to be fucking sitting in, huh? Listening to those dudes talk or just being involved in that conversation, man. I would literally kill someone to be in a situation like that. He talks about how they are at a convention, you know, the artist alley was just empty and there wasn't a fucking soul walking around an artist alley with where his table was, because Image was, you know, the new and super popular company at the time. He had gone out to the parking lot to the tent, and that's where everybody was at, line out the door, you know, to announce the 63 comics that he was doing. The rest is history. You know, he said that it was pretty much a life-changing experience. I'm sure it was for a lot of those dudes, and they probably still have money from these comics because they sold shitloads and shitloads and shitloads of comics over at Image during this time. I can only imagine, but yeah, he just talks about how, you know, how crazy that was of an experience. I really like I really like Don's his sarcasm, you know what I mean? You can tell that he has a really dry humor, which I really appreciate. I have great fondness for Don Simpson, and he's one of those guys that as time goes on, I get more and more fond of him. What more can you say about good old Dandy Don? As always, I would recommend to pick up anything Don Simpson, but this is pretty much the only thing that you can pick up that is new, or that's going to be more or less readily available. You don't have to, you know, track down. All right, so that's where we're gonna wrap it up, but we're gonna take a look at the 3 top picks I would do from the haul that I'd probably recommend to pick up. This is gonna be number 3, Tits Clits. 1963 Winness Annual Don Simpson. Number 2. The number 1 thing I'd recommend to pick up is Hip Hop Family Tree. What are you doing? Get off the couch, go read some comics. Alright everyone, as always, thanks for hanging out and talking comics. Have a good rest of your day.